Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, yo? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Los Def, and then we are here back for episode 139 of the 280 Plus podcast. If you're new to the channel, I'd like you to hit that subscribe button right now, hit the like button, share the content, leave a comment as well, man. Just get the discourse going, man. So we're here solo again this week. And last week I didn't record and as long as I do some type of content, I don't feel too bad. So last week I was on with my man Levi, and I was on What Are We Doing podcast, the Y Pod, and we talked about the Super Bowl and we recapped the Super Bowl, including the halftime show, including the commercial. So that, I ain't gonna lie, like that was the juice that I was gonna come with too. And I ain't want to step on my man's toes, so I kind of like fell back a little bit. Also had a couple other things going on, so content is out there. I mean, you see my face every week, so we not missing a beat. And I might have to go back to some of that type of stuff. We're not gonna kind of talk about the Super Bowl in the same way. Maybe talk about some of the things surrounding the Super Bowl. And I did want to react to the haters of the Super Bowl halftime show because I got some shit to say, and I think y'all need to put some respect on my man's Usher's name. Tonight we're also going to talk about the All-Star game a little bit and just kind of what can the NBA do to improve that. Also, talking about the slam dunk contest because I did see the slam dunk contest, and yeah, I felt like they kind of stunk it up a little bit there. You know what I mean? Gonna talk about Shannon Sharp. Gonna talk about Shannon Sharp a little bit. Club Shay Shay, how it's blowing up, and what's the latest from there? The beefs, and how he is kind of he's at the forefront of the comedy world for whatever reason. Like these comics are going to his show to get their shit off, and it's starting all these different beefs, and then the beefs that he's kind of getting into in the meantime with that. And then but to start off though, we're gonna react to some videos. I got some shit to get off my chest a little bit about some of these two videos that we're gonna read. Oh, well, the one video we're gonna react to, and then the other one is a little bit funny, but it also has to do with intelligence and ignorance and things like that though. So I mean, buckle up, stay along for the ride, and yeah, man, let's get this show started, man. So all right, let's get started. So I feel like I feel like that there's been since COVID. I think I would say since COVID, there's actually been an attack on like public education, and there's an attack on teachers, and there's this perception that a lot of people are they distrust the educational system and the way that things are done. There's this general distrust for teachers, right? Like they're passing legislation where they are taking certain content out of the classroom. They are accusing teachers of teaching content that shouldn't be taught in the classroom when that's not even the case. They're making a lot of things political. Now, education in many ways is political because we're talking about the way that the education is funded, especially public education, is tax dollars. So when we talk about tax dollars, we are talking about politics, and we are talking about different sides of the aisle having different ideologies, but all trying to figure out what's best for kids. And the problem is that, like, I think both sides, because if we're talking just, the actual political climate, blue and red, you know what I mean? I don't like to say I don't even like to say like what those things are because I'm not a political, this is not a political podcast. So we're not going to get into, liberals and conservatives, Democrats and Republicans, but like the red and blue, right? Like, so I think there are probably good ideas on both sides, but the problem is when you make education political, it's always about swinging the pendulum from one end to the other. It's never about, because at the end of the day, it's about what's best for kids, right? So it's never about what's best for kids. It's about who has the power, right? What side has the power, the left or the right? So, um, so the reason why I brought this up is because I wanted to react to a video that I saw. I got sent a video. Somebody sent me a video, and then I was trying to find this video again and just straight off Instagram so I could share it with y'all, and we can kind of break it down and get it in. And then I ended up finding that video, but then I posted another video from this same content creator. So what I said to start this off was the fact that there is like an attack on teachers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that social media is there's no place. I'm not gonna say there's no place for teachers and educators to be on social media, right? Like I don't want to say that because I think that sets a dangerous precedent, right? But there's no room for what this particular educator has kind of done on social media. And what I would say is that there's tons of content creators that you can make some comedy and you can make some satire, you can make there's stuff for teachers and educators where it's really a network, and they are helping each other be better. They're coming up with ideas and things like that. Like that's good, like that's all good. Even some of the funny stuff, even some of the teachers that take risks and make jokes and things like that, right? But there's also another side where when you see content creators like this, right, it becomes an attack on these educators because there's probably teachers out there that want to make content that's not educational related, but the fact that but given what they do for a living, it makes it tough for them to kind of do that kind of content because it lumps us all together. So when you have one of these teachers, these adults in front of children all the time, and they're going a whole different way, and they're being unethical, right? And they're making fun of children, and in the name of trying to come up with solutions, that is a bad precedent to set, right? That's a very bad precedent to set. So like I'm gonna show y'all this video, and I want y'all I want to hear y'all reactions to it. Like what do y'all think of it? And maybe it creates some discourse in the comment section. But let's take a look here real quick. Let's take a look here. All right, so here's the video. And so I decided, because I just saved it from TikTok, and I decided just post it. So this guy is a TikTok creator. It is at QB the Don. All right. So, it seems like he's a younger man. He doesn't seem to be very experienced in this profession. So some of the things that he kind of comes out and says, it's like, I don't know. And this is what I posted. So I posted this on the page, and I said, unethical educator takes to social media to berate kids. Even if what he's saying is true, the solutions don't come from using students and their lack of knowledge for content. Although there is a deeper problem, this isn't the way to go about it. So let's hear what this guy has to say, and then let me know if y'all agree with this, man. Let me know if y'all agree with his take. Now y'all probably agree. Here's the thing: there's definitely things to agree with what he's saying, but like think about it on the outside looking in, right? Because think about your kid being in one of his classrooms. Like, how would you feel about that? Hold on. Oh.
Talk about it. Can we please talk about it? Let's take a moment to discuss. Let's take a moment to debrief. Let's take a moment to unpack. So I'm not really understanding why they're not telling y'all. Like, we all know that the world is behind, globally, because of the pandemic and stuff. But I don't understand why they're not stressing to y'all how bad it is. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level. I don't care how you flip it, turn it, swing it, swindle it. They still performing on a 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. They just keep passing them on, 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 passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to the 8th grade next year. But ain't nobody talking about that. Why they not talking about that? Why they not telling y'all that y'all... And why don't y'all know that y'all kids not performing on their grade level? Why y'all don't know this? Why y'all don't know? Talk about it. Let's unpack. Because y'all be quick to talk about, oh, the teacher this, the teacher this, it's your job, baby. I just got here 30 days ago. She was performing on the 4th grade level since 4th grade. Why we not talk? Well, let's talk about it. You the teacher. You supposed to be, again, she's been on the 4th grade level since the 4th grade. We in 7th grade now. So you let this child go 3 years and you never knew that your child was still in the 4th grade, ain't never left the...
All right, so that's all I'm gonna share with that one for now, whatever. So again, is it something that's frustrating, right? So that is something that, I don't think that people are talking about in the educational world, like this, the fact that like they don't schools, especially K. I would say K through eight. I would say K through eight because they're not. They don't retain kids the same way that they used to, right? So I remember when I was coming up, K through eight, and I remember when I was, especially if you felt it in middle school when you noticed there was a kid that was older than you, and then like out of nowhere they were still in the grade that you was in once you got to school, whatever. Or again, I felt it, what I mean? I would feel it, what I mean, seventh grade, like the eighth grader. Oh, now you back in seventh grade. Oh, what I mean? So, or the kid that didn't make it to the high school, and you're like, oh, now he's in eighth grade, right? So they used to retain kids, and I feel like that is the word shame is bad, right? We use that word and everything. Oh, you're this shaming or you're that shaming, right? So it's a bad thing. But I feel like sometimes shame brings the best out of you, right? So when I feel like when a student will go through that kind of social shaming or that social realization that they are not moving up with the peers that they grew up with for 6 7 8 years, 5 6 7 8 years, and they're not moving up, they're not progressing with those kids. I think that is sometimes the realization that like, oh, I got to get my stuff together. You know what I mean? And maybe in certain instances, maybe they really were not ready to move on. So like, you retain them and hopefully you're giving them the knowledge that they need so they can be successful at the next grade or in high school at the next level. But yeah, they don't retain kids from K through 8 the same way. I think the reason for that they probably back it up with some type of study, right? But what happens is the problem with that is the fact that when you get to high school is a lot more serious when it comes to grading. Now, is it the end all be all? Because yeah, sure, we know people that you know ended up being C or D students in high school, and then they end up becoming successful. They become an entrepreneur. Maybe they find their niche later in life, and then they become successful. Sure, that can happen, but we still are doing kids a disservice by just kind of moving them up. So that's what he's saying. Like, we're doing the kids a disservice by moving them up. Now, the only reason why I reacted to it at all is because he's doing a dangerous thing, right? So he's recording inside his classroom. He's recording public content inside his classroom, and then he's making fun of the kids. He's making fun of the parents. And I'm not saying that I don't even know who this guy is. So I'm not saying we should dox him and figure him out and help him lose his job. But I want to personally, hopefully we can give him some guidance as to like, yo, man, that's a conversation that you need to have with the parents specifically. That's a conversation that you need to have with any type of like reading specialists that are at your school, or that's a conversation that you need to have with administrators and things like that. So there's actual solutions. That's something that you bring up at a board meeting. So there's actual solutions. That's not something that you don't use your social media platform to do that. Like that's unethical. That's unethical. And the video that I originally got sent, and I do have it, but I can't. I don't have a way to kind of show y'all this because it's a little bit too long. And I would have to post it, and then we could watch it. But there was another video where he seems to be in the classroom and he's surveying the kids and he's like, "All right, so y'all don't know this, y'all don't know this," and it seemed to be a very easy concept, but the fact that like he doesn't show the students, which because that would be like that's definitely out of pocket. Now, again, I've seen some teachers they're able to kind of do it and they get the approval and your whole page would have to be kind of approved for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't have nothing, you can't talk about nothing else. If it's just an educational page, that's great. But those people that even make that funny content, they're not doing stuff like what he's doing, right? So he's like surveying the kids, and so y'all only 3 out of 25 kids only know this, and it was like about shapes or something like that. He's like, all right, so and he has that little bit of a condescending tone, he's a little snarky, a little sassy, a little bit, right? And it just comes off very bad. So like, yes, there is a problem. There's a problem, but brother, we got to go about it a different way, man. You cannot use your platform for that. You cannot use your platform to maybe get awareness, but don't do it in that way, man. Don't do it that way, because you making it hard for you're making it hard for good educators. You're making it hard for educators that have to create content. And then there might be some people that, there might be some educators out there that don't necessarily create educational content, but any negative press on teachers and how they use social media is bad for all teachers, and how they and their own actual expression. Like, it's bad for them, because they can't do what they want without the fear of losing their jobs and things like that. And he did some things that, like, probably there's probably some schools that probably would say, oh, that's not really ethical, but maybe they haven't caught up to him. Again, I don't want that to happen to him, but I'm here as like, yo, bro, just relax a little bit. Relax a little bit. So, all right, moving on. What y'all think though? Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about that video. Do you agree with him? Do you think that TikTok is the place to go with that type of stuff? What do you think? Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. So talking about so that we talked about intelligence right there for a second there. So this is something I feel. I don't know if I experienced this. Like, I never seen the other end of it, right? But um I feel like I'm pretty good with my words, right? I feel like I'm a wordsmith in some ways, I feel like I'm really really good with my words, and sometimes people say, "Oh, you use big words. What you using big words for no reason?" And the thing is, I'm not trying to sound smarter than anybody. I've always had an extensive vocabulary, right? I'm not trying to sound. I've always had an extensive lexicon, right? Now, right? Like vernacular. My vernacular is spectacular. You heard me? So I've always had, like, always had that in my bag. So like, I know though when I'm expressing myself, you know what I mean? And I know that, like, I feel like probably in the dating world, there's probably women in the past that I've probably intimidated. Now, if there is like, anytime I've spoken with an intelligent woman, they love that, like, I have like punctuation, complete sentences in my text messages. I've even been complimented on, like, the words that I use, and like I've had women compliment me and tell me that they learn new words because of me, whatever. So this is a funny video. Are we gonna react to, or we're just gonna laugh at, whatever? But it says it's basically like when you dating a man that's intelligent, right? And then, like, it's a woman reading her text messages to her friend that also doesn't know what these words mean. And so, like, I just want to know what this if this is a reality. Ladies, can you relate to this video? Can you relate to this? Hold on one second. So let's set this up here. All right, it says uh POV when it's your first time dating somebody intellectual. So let's check this out here. I thought this was mad funny. So let's take a look.
Girl, he talking about it's some places I want to take you because I'm something like a connoisseur. What that mean? It's kind of like that time we had went to the gym and we had worked out with that personal trainer, and then when we had left and I went to the car and I was like, my legs a little bit kind of sore. Oh yeah, I do remember that. So basically what he's saying is he want to take you, but his legs hurt. Oh. You don't have to worry about that. I don't mind driving. No, that is so nice. Thank you, friend. You a really good person. Now he asking what's on my itinerary. Girl, what the hell is an itinerary? He being vulnerable. He trying to open up to you, tell you about his troubles. He letting you know, I tend to worry. He probably got anxiety about your first date. For real? Girl, that is so sweet. I like him. Oh, you don't have to worry, Bookie. It's nothing like a man not being afraid to open up and express themselves. He said he was asking because he didn't want to interfere. Girl, he is crazy about you. He done worked himself up so much he afraid he might interfere. I hate to get him all worked up. He went from worrying to fear. Poor thing. Girl, tell him something. Tell him you gonna come so he don't have to be fearful. He said he gonna call me later. Girl, that's a prime example. If he wanted to, he would. Okay, period. Period. What did he say now?
Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, all right. That is a classic to me. That is a classic to me. She said, "Kind of, he's I'm something like a connoisseur. What that mean? He's saying that it's kind of like when we was at the gym and his legs is kind of sore. So yeah, his legs hurt, whatever. Like that in itself. So first off, shout out to that content creator because she's intelligent. It's like she's creative and intelligent as hell to even make a video like that. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. So it's definitely not no. We know it's satire. We not making fun of the. But that was like hella creative and hella smart to come up with this content, whatever. But connoisseur into kind of sore is crazy. Itinerary to I tend to worry is insane. And interfere, which that's the easiest of the word of those words that we just said. That's probably the easiest of the words. And to go from interfere to I don't want to interfere is that's bananas. That's bananas. But ladies, what do you do like if what do you do when you are talking to a man that is a little bit more intelligent, right? He's an intellectual and he uses big words. Does that turn you off? Does that intimidate you? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, does that intimidate women? Because I think sometimes it does intimidate women. Now, I don't care if it does. I don't care if it does. I think if anything, it weeds out what you kind of don't want. Now, again, ain't nobody trying to use big words to turn you off or to sound smarter than you or to make themselves sound better than you. It's just like, yo, this person just has word variety, he has word usage, and he likes to express himself. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I guess I'm wondering, ladies, do you get intimidated? Fellas, have you been in a situation where you started a conversation and like either things went left because you was talking a little bit too elevated, or you was turned off because she couldn't understand the things that you were saying because you were talking a little bit more elevated? Like, what was that experience like? So leave a comment below if you've ever experienced this. It's funny because I got a female friend who experienced this on the other side where, oh my God, she was so frustrated that this guy did not know, and she wasn't saying the biggest words, but he was confused. He was flabbergasted. He was like, and yo, she was so turned off by that dude. She had to cut that off, whatever. And bless her heart, I don't blame her. You got to do what you got to do. So I don't know, but leave a comment below, man, if you ever been in any experience like that. What was it like? How'd you get through it? How did you overcome it? Right. So leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. All right, let's see. Let's move on to the next topic here. So what we talk about? Okay. Okay, bet. Oh, bet. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so let's talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. So this is not a full recap. This is not a full recap at all because I did not see the 3-point shooting contest, and I feel bad because I was gonna watch it. I was gonna watch it back. I watched the slam dunk contest back, but I did not watch the rest of the challenge. So I was out. I was out that evening, so I missed it like live. And I sometimes I make a point to do it. You know what I mean? I like when they have it. They have it usually around Valentine's Day, the weekend after, the weekend before, and so this is something that I always look forward to seeing this type of stuff. So, but with the slam dunk contest, right? So we had a guy named Jaquez Jr. We had Obi Toppin's little brother. Is it Jacob Toppin? We had Jalen Brown. So shout out to so that's a big name. That's a star. This man, what didn't he sign the biggest contract last summer? Right? Is he the highest paid player in the NBA right now? Like arguably or close to it, right? The $300 million man, right? Jalen Brown. So that's big. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. I'm gonna give him a shout out, a pat on the back for because we always say like, yo, where are the star players? Where are the rising star players? Why aren't they getting involved in the dunk contest? Like guys don't mind shooting threes and 3 point. Guys don't mind getting involved in the skill challenge. And guys, we know they participate in the All-Star game, but like not everybody goes for the dunk contest. Now, back in the day, it was a badge of honor. Like some of the best scorers were in the slam dunk contest. Obviously, Michael Jordan. Obviously, Dominique Wilkins. Obviously, Dr. J. Vince Carter is another name that comes to mind. Tracy McGrady, his cousin, was also in that contest. Steve Francis was also in that contest. So we got name brand players that are doing their thing. You know, I would say the last time we had, like, Dwight Howard was in it, but like Dwight, he's 7 feet tall. Like, yeah, well, he's not 7 feet tall. He's like six. He's actually only like 6'10", 6'9". But like, he's so big. I mean, like he's so tall. So like, it don't have the same effect like a big man. We did have Blake Griffin, so he was a star or he was a rising star at the time. So, we've had some, and then there's some like guys that won it a couple times, but they ain't really stars, but they was role players. You got like a Jason Richardson, um, what I mean, when we had Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon going back and forth at it, right? Like now those guys are guys that are like I don't think they made the All-Star games, but like they are like I would say they're star players. Like they are. Like Zach Levine is a difference maker. Aaron Gordon is a difference maker. These aren't they're bigger than role players. Like they are important players on their teams. But this is probably the biggest star to participate in a while. Like this is Jalen Brown's the biggest star to participate in a while. And although I want to give him credit for participating, I wish he did not participate. I wish Jalen Brown did not participate because I don't know what the fuck he was doing out there. Like I do not know what he was doing out there. But yeah, and then so we also get Mac McClung, right? So he won it last year, you know what I mean? The great white hope, little white boy out here, doing this thing, right? Showing us some variety, showing us execution, doing his thing out there. So Mac McClung goes back to back, right? So we get a back to back champion, right? But if we talking about the slam dunk contest, though, man, the fact that Jalen Brown was in it, it almost felt like they wanted him to win it because of the image of it. Like, all right, yeah, you got to have this guy because who wants to see Matt McClung versus Jacob Toppin? Like, I guess nobody. I guess nobody does. But all-Star Saturday Night is a place and a time for players like these guys to make a name for themselves. Like sometimes guys rise from these events, right? So because I feel like Zach Levine was already gonna be that boy. Aaron Gordon was already gonna probably be that boy, but like I think they made names for themselves because of that intense contest, whatever. So I feel like every dunk that Jalen Brown did, he's probably a great in-game dunker, but he is not a slam dunk champion. Like he's not that kind of player. But I feel like all his scores were inflated. Now, he tried to pay homage to past dunkers, right? So he had like some of the presentation. He was doing things. He had the Michael Jackson glove on his left hand because everybody says he doesn't have a left hand, so he dunked with his left hand. But like in terms of creativity, it was crazy because I was hearing Kenny Smith say, "Oh, I didn't realize he had this much creativity." What creativity? Like he was doing basic windmills and basic reverses. Like there was nothing advanced. The only thing that Reggie Miller and Kenny Smith had to say was the fact that he put some power into it. Oh, he put some power into it. Bro, them dunks was trash. Like all them dunks that Jalen Brown did was dookie, bro. Like they were so basic. And even if they had a little bit of power, I ain't gonna lie, like he looked like you could tell he don't do this. Like he tried to do the D Brown joint where he covers his eyes. he couldn't get his other arm up to cover his eyes until like after he landed. Like he landed, like he already dunked it, and then he tried to go like this, whatever. And it's like, bruh, like and when you look at the replays of some of his dunks, it looks like is he like guys that are meant for the slam dunk contest, they get up there with ease. They get up there effortlessly. They get up there effortlessly. He looked like he was struggling a couple times. And the one dunk, he gonna jump over Kai Cenat, who was sitting down on a chair. Bro, Kai Cenat sitting down is probably like 4 feet. I think my man's was like, yo, he jumped over 4 foot, you know what I mean? Whatever. So like it's just like it just doesn't sit well. So he jumped over Kai Cenat. That's not impressive. He did some corny windmill dunk. It's not impressive. Matt McClung was doing some like intricate stuff, and like his scores were lower. Now I'm glad that he won because yo, the last dunk that Jalen Brown did, who he jumped over somebody or he did something, and like yo, he had a high score. Like he had a really high score, and I was like worried. I'm thinking like, yo, Matt McClung, if he don't win after he jumps over Shaq and clears Shaq barely kneeling down, ducking down. If he don't win off of that, and Jalen Brown wins off of this basic shit, like they need to throw the whole contest away. So good thing Matt McClung, he cleared Shaq, he did his thing. It wasn't super fancy, but it was still impressive because could you imagine somebody jumping over? Could you imagine not only dunking on Shaq, but jumping over Shaq to dunk on him? Like that's crazy. Now one of my homies had a great idea. I seen it. I seen him say it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna shout you out, my man Martian, man, my man Martian 32. Um, he said, yo, they should have a poster contest. So like I would think the idea, because and then him and my man Londell, I think they was going back and forth a little bit. And it was like, yeah, because a block is a highlight too. So like, yes. Now, granted, there is a risk for injury in this, all right, but like a poster contest. So basically, I would think that you have a guy trying to do some type of impressive in-game dunk, and then you have a defender, and I think you would have to create some type of parameter, or I would think that maybe the players would know how to like kind of converge at the right time. But yeah, have something where you got a guy that's trying to dunk on somebody. Cause it don't matter, even if it's a basic dunk, dunking on somebody and putting them on a poster is way more impressive than getting 3, 4 attempts to do a dunk with no defense on it, right? So like, and I think guys would take risks. Now granted, again, there is an injury factor there because you could roll a guy, like you could undercut his legs, what I mean. When he's landing after the dunk, he could step on an ankle, he could step on a foot and twist it, and high ankle sprain type deal. But that would be dope though. That would be dope. But again, if they're gonna just use NBA players, man, we gotta get. I don't know. We like maybe they do need to expand outside of the NBA players, but like, yo, NBA guys, man, yo, we know you guys are out there. We know you're out there. Y'all need to participate in the dunk contest, man. Do it for the fans, man. Do it for us, please. We need it. We need a monumental slam dunk contest again. Like every year should be what people are looking forward to. It's the main event on Saturday night. So why not? Why not? So I don't know who won the 3-point contest. And I know there was some type of shootout thing with Steph Curry and a woman from the WNBA who's breaking records. But yeah, so that's that with that. So let's move on. What do y'all think? What did y'all think about the slam dunk contest? I heard some people they had low expectations, so it was good. Some people come in with high expectations and they thought it was ass. So like, what do y'all think, man? Leave a comment below on your reaction to All-Star Saturday night. Now, the All-Star game, real quick. So, you know how they do this All-Star game. This year it was East versus West. It was East versus West. So they kind of went back to that older format. So they've been doing it the last several years for the All-Star game. They've been doing team captains, and then like you're basically, you do have West All-Stars and you have East All-Stars, but they're kind of mixed together. All right. So let me see. I'm just pull this up one more time. Let's see, All-Star game. Okay, yeah, it was East versus West. So the final score, and I'm surprised the East won. The East won. The East won. The East won. So the West was winning All-Star games for years. I mean, like the East was not fuck with them. Final score: the East 211 to 186. Now, I seen when I was the game was on and I seen the Twitter threads, whatever, and some people was like, I seen student versus teachers, student versus staff games more impressive than this. So obviously there's not we don't I don't know where this came from. And they probably got some type of next level stat, some type of analytic to prove it, right? But it's not the case. Like I'm gonna tell you as a fan, like there's this belief that the fans want to see scoring. Yeah, we do. We want to see meaningful scoring though. Like we don't want to see practice scoring. We don't want to see guys just able to drive the lane and free, and just get a free pass to dunk it. We don't want to see guys just kind of letting each other do whatever move, and then in the fourth quarter they decide like, all right, we're gonna turn up a little bit. Like, no, play with intensity. Now, all All-Star games are high scoring. So like I tried to look at the box score for All-Star games in the last 10 years, and I was actually surprised at some of the scoring. So like, for example, I mean this year was 211 to 186. The year before that, it was Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. It was 184 to 175. That's high. Before that, LeBron versus Durant, 163 to 160. LeBron versus Durant, 170 to 150. LeBron versus Giannis. Yo, it's always Team LeBron. Team LeBron for like 4, 5, 6 years straight. We had let's see, we had a 157 to 155. That was a close game. That was in 2020. That was a good close game. 2019, 178 to 164. Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. Team LeBron versus Team Steph, 148 to 145 in 2018. That was another great game. And then we had, 2017, 192 the West to 182 the East. 2016, I'm gonna stop pretty soon. 196 to 173. In 2015, it was 163 to 158 for the West, and then the East won in 2014, 163 to 155. So yeah, surprisingly, they do get up into the 150s, and I guess that's normal. That's normal because even surprisingly enough, this shocked me was even in 92, the West scored 153 points. In 1980, there was 144 to 136. So like the games are always very high scoring, always very high scoring. And just putting up seeing in 1962 that the West put up 150 is crazy. In 61 they put up 153. Like so they've been scoring in these games, right? But it doesn't look competitive at all. It looks too easy. It looks boring. All right. Stop insulting the fans, right? Like these are the best players in the league, right? Like arguably the best players in the league. So arguably too, you should have some of the best defenders in the league. Let them play, man. Again, we don't need y'all to play defense. We don't need y'all to be like the bad news Pistons. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no Bill Lambiers. We don't need no Draymond Greens out there just giving flagrant fouls. We don't need that, but we do need some competitiveness, man. We need the players to kind of care a little bit. I seen this highlight reel of Kobe Bryant and how he approached the All-Star game, and he wanted to show everybody that he was better than everybody, and so he went cutthroat. He went full speed, and he didn't stop. So what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about the All-Star game? What can they do to improve the All-Star game? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. If y'all have any ideas, leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. Are you done watching the All-Star game? If you're done watching the All-Star game, leave a comment below. If you have suggestions for how they can improve the All-Star game, leave a comment below. So let's move on. Let's move on. Next topic. Next topic. All right, man. So let's all right. So the Super Bowl was last week, right? So we didn't get to talk about the Super Bowl. as it was kind of happening or right after. Like we couldn't give a rapid reaction. So the Chiefs won. Um, Real quick, man, let's talk about legacies when it comes to Super Bowl. So and people are mad. Yo, people get so mad so quick. They get so mad so quick, right? So Patrick Mahomes gets his third Super Bowl. He's only the fifth quarterback in NFL history to win three Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes has won three Super Bowls in four appearances. Patrick Mahomes has won three Super Bowls in 5 years. Patrick Mahomes has won three Super Bowls and he's only been a starter for 6 years, right? 6 years, but in the last 5 years, he's won three. Six years as a starter, seventh year in the league, right? Now, automatically, like when you're successful like this, the narratives get started, right? And I don't think he shies away from the narratives, right? So obviously, there's comparisons that are made. So obviously, the biggest comparison right off the bat, when you're successful like this, who do you get compared to? You get compared to the best. So they're comparing Brady to Mahomes. Now, Brady has 7 rings, right? So there's nothing, you know what I mean? Brady has 7 rings. So Patrick Mahomes has a long way to go to like it's hard to win three Super Bowls, let alone to win four more, right? So let's just, kind of look at it like that. So, but let's talk about it though. Let's keep it 100. Like what run is more what run has been more impressive, right? What run has been more impressive? So if we think about Brady, right? Brady won 6 titles with the Patriots. And I don't care what y'all try to say about Belichick, and y'all be trying to downplay Belichick's importance. But Belichick was a major part of him winning 6 rings, right? Because and Mahomes, it's the reason why I say it's more impressive is because he really looks like he's carrying his team to wins, right? He's carrying his team to wins. He looks like literally, and this is what I would say is that because I'm a Packers fan, and it just it didn't work out for us this way. But Patrick Mahomes, talent wise, is who we thought Aaron Rodgers would be. Like now, Aaron Rodgers might still be more talented, whatever. But when Aaron Rodgers won his first Super Bowl, we thought that he was gonna win more than one Super Bowl. Like I know I did, as a Packers fan. Has Patrick Mahomes been on better teams? I think this year, this team, now his offense wasn't the best, but like he got that defense. I don't know if y'all know about that. That defense is crazy. Like that they got all type of like great players on their defense, right? So Patrick Mahomes is doing what we wanted Aaron Rodgers to do, right? And another thing though is the fact that um when we think about so Brady does have 7, right? Brady does have 7. Let's call a spade though. Let's call a spade a spade. Brady's last Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, right? That was arguably the most talented team ever assembled to win a Super Bowl. Like just the offense alone, right? And we talk about skill position players, right? They already had like regular mainstays. You already have a future Hall of Famer in Mike Evans on the team. And he was a Pro Bowler, right? You had Chris Godwin, who was a rising star, who was also like a Pro Bowl caliber type of receiver, right? I mean, you already had that's who Brady comes to that team with. Like he comes to the team and he already has those two guys, right? And then they went out and got his tight end, one of the all-time great tight ends ever, like probably one of the most formidable tight ends ever. I mean, outside of Travis Kelsey and Tony Gonzalez and Gates, we got Rob Gronkowski. So he gets his Hall of Fame tight end back, right? And then what do they do? They add and now his Hall of Fame status is probably it's gonna take a long time for him to get in the Hall because of his antics. But then they went out and they got Antonio Brown. And they weren't like, here's the thing. When they got that team, it wasn't like they was getting guys. It looked like LeBron James, like the Heatles. Remember when LeBron was with the Heat and they were the Heatles, right? Like that's what it was. Guys was taking pennies to ring chase, and they ring chase with Brady, and it paid off, right? And they end up getting a ring. So you got Brown was ring chasing, Gronk was ring chasing, right? They were able to pick up Leonard Fournette. So Leonard Fournette, who crazy college career, right? He's still not 30 years old yet. Like he might be like, he's still not 30 years old yet. But you get a guy who was a first round pick. He probably was like 25 years old at the time. Like still like a lot of like hardly no wear and tear, a lot of legs left, whatever. So you're able to kind of sign a guy like that just off the strength, you know what I mean, for pennies. And then even on the defensive end, they got Ndamukong Suh to sign with them, along with the players that they already had on defense, right? You know what I mean? They have a good linebacking core, they had some good guys in the secondary. Like that was a stacked team. So I'm not gonna I can't take Brady's seventh ring away. I can't take it away from him. But come on now. Like let's focus on the six that he won with the Patriots. And this is what I would say is that in comparison, Patrick Mahomes looks like he's carrying his team to win. Brady, the difference is that he willed his team to win because again, I said that Belichick is a big part of that. A lot of the Patriots just bought into that Patriot way of doing things, right? Belichick's teams are always super balanced, right? And he often he's a scheme mastermind, right? And it helps when you have a quarterback that's very cerebral and a quarterback that doesn't make that many mistakes, right? It's good to have a quarterback like that because Tom Brady ain't known for his arm strength or nothing like that. He's just good. He's just really good. He's really smart. He wills his team to win. He wills his team to win, right? So and one of the Super Bowls they won, yeah, I mean, you talk about the Seahawks Super Bowl. If Pete Carroll was an intelligent coach, you know what I'm saying? If he was intelligent, then Brady would have six and maybe have five. Maybe he be stuck at five. You know what I'm saying? If he loses that, then you get the Atlanta Falcons debacle. So Brady. I'm again not trying to take away from his wins because he did what he had to do. But if you take away now, granted, and he did lose, he legit lost to the Eagles. You know what I mean, Eagles like forced a fumble. Like if Brady wins that one though, he would have retired. But like he decided he wanted to come back. But like, and it was the way he lost. He lost on a sack fumble. Like he basically loses the game on a sack fumble. Like it was like his fault that they lost. But like if they lose the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl, if they lose the Super Bowl against the Seahawks, you know what I mean? Brady might be at more like a five. I mean, like he might be stuck at six. He might be more like five, maybe stuck at four because he won't even go to the Buccaneers. And the Patriots just always had like complete teams, even though I know we want to try to downplay. It was only in the early part of Brady's career that he had like some no names on offense, right? When he won a Super Bowl with Deion Branch as one of his wide receivers. Like it was only early on that he had nobody. When he got Gronkowski, when he had the chain movers, like whether it's Wes Welker or whether it's Julian Edelman, you know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about a different level, man, of talent there. And then the defenses that he's always played with have been phenomenal. So again, not taking nothing away from Brady, but like what Mahomes is doing out there is beautiful. It's kind of like something we never seen because Brady didn't even start going off every year until he got Moss. Like when he gets Moss and they don't win. Man, granted, they probably should have. Man, this is crazy, man. Brady has so many Super Bowl. All right, so it is tough because Brady he won seven, but he lost twice to the Giants. Yeah, he lost twice to the Giants and he lost to the Eagles. So yeah, this guy been to 10 to make 10 Super Bowl appearances in a 20-year career is insane. You know what I mean? But Mahomes is on that pace, man. And if Mahomes even I don't Mahomes doesn't have to tie him to be necessarily better either. Like let's not get into those arguments because it don't necessarily matter if you have more rings. Sometimes it does, but like it's the way you doing it. And like I said, I like what Patrick Mahomes is doing. What do y'all think though, man? When it's all said and done, how many Super Bowls will Patrick Mahomes end his career with? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Let me know. And then real quick, talk about the the halftime show. Real quick, real quick. So so yo, Levi, like so me and Levi talk about the halftime show, right? And it was crazy because like I felt like people one like the comment section when I posted the one clip about us and we were talking about this halftime show. I just felt like people were at a loss and they did not understand what we was trying to say. So when Levi says that half of the country thinks that it was like the worst Super Bowl ever, he's talking about white people. Like he's not talking about like literally half the country. He's talking about just the one half of the country. He's talking about one side of the country, like demographic. Thought it was the worst. Um, there was a lot of criticism on Usher. Now, that was literally and another thing too. People get mad like when people like us, like we on podcasts and things like that, and because we're very verbose and we are passionate about the things that we talk about, they think that like I don't necessarily think I'm right, but if you want to debate, let's go. Like I'm ready for whatever, you know what I'm saying? But don't get mad because we are passionate about liking it. Cause somebody gonna say in the comment section, they're gonna be like, oh, what they do? They was like, what they say? They said, oh, because you have a mic, because you have a microphone, like your opinion matters more, or people can't disagree with you. And I'm thinking like, no, people could disagree with me if you want, but two things can be true. Yeah, I mean, you have a right to. It is true that you have a right to disagree with me, but it's also true that you're dead fucking wrong, right? So, yo, the Super Bowl halftime show, right? So Usher comes out, right? So first off, we had people that were complaining about. Let's talk about the complaints. They complained about the song selection. The song selection was impeccable, impeccable. Here's the thing. Of course, we can always say there's certain songs that he could have played. Now, when I made my list of things that I guesses and things that I thought he would perform, the only guess that I got wrong in terms of guesses when he didn't perform "You Make Me Wanna," which that was like that's his first big single, so that's why I thought that was a shoe in. And he was a little bit upbeat, and he went to the slow ballad, so I thought like that was in there, right? So "You Make Me Wanna," I thought that could have been performed. I'm not mad that it wasn't, right? Some people were saying like, "Oh, he should have performed "Moving Mountains." I'm like, okay, maybe some trading places, okay, right? You know what I'm saying? I would say the only miss that he had, and it's because it was set up for him. Now, when we get into like music rights and things like that, I don't know whose song this actually is, but they should have the only miss of that Super Bowl performance in terms of song selection was they did not play Lovers and Friends. Now, if it's hard to play Lovers and Friends if Lil Jon starts out and he's like turned down for what? Like if you're hype like that, it's hard to I don't know where you fit Lovers and Friends in. But it was set up. You had Ludacris, you had Lil Jon, you know what I mean? That was the only time I felt like they missed the ball. Like any other songs that you like that didn't get performed. Yeah, I mean, some people were saying "Good Good" should have been performed, and then now, like that's all I'm hearing. I'm just hearing "Good Good." Now, "Good Good" is a really good song. Like no pun intended, but no, "Good Good" is a great song. But no, I did not see "Good Good" being performed. I couldn't see that. A second criticism was the fact they said that all he was doing was dancing. He wasn't singing. So here's the thing, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a little secret, right? Go watch the Super Bowl halftime show. Watch it now on YouTube. Watch it, like NFL, and it's probably like on the NFL's page, but on their YouTube page, whatever. Like, but look up full Usher halftime performance and make sure it's like a clear one. It ain't somebody bootlegging that joint. Like, make sure it's clear. I'm gonna tell you this: if you say that Usher was not singing during that performance, I need you to watch. That watching it over is for the people that think it wasn't good. Because if you thought it was great, I say watch it again too because it gets even better. But if you thought that it was just I don't know, he wasn't, and if you say that he wasn't singing, I need you to right now, I need you to go and watch that joint again. Watch the halftime show again because Usher sounded like it's the broadcast. It's not, it wasn't his mic. It wasn't his mic. It's the broadcast. He sounds 1,000 times better on the rewatch, right? On the mastered version, on the YouTube version. This man was singing his heart out, right? He was hitting, and it wasn't like he was hitting hard notes when he was totally out of breath. Yeah, I mean, 13 minutes straight, nonstop. This man was on skates. This man, you know what I mean? He grinding up on Alicia Keys. This man, he did the little "You Got It Bad," the little, when he do the little pop lock dance. You know what I mean? Like he did that. He had the mic. Yo, this man put on a fucking show, and he was singing the whole time. He was crooning. That boy was crooning his ass off. Like he was singing his heart out. And so to disrespect and say that he was not singing, go back, man. Go back and watch it. Where do I rank it? It's for me, it's in my top three. It's in my top five, my top three. Like I don't, you know what I mean? The one with Snoop and with the Interscope Records one, Snoop, Dre, Eminem, Kendrick, like that was dope. Like, cause wow, all rap, and with some Mary J. Blige, whatever, an all rap Super Bowl performance, that's crazy. Rihanna was cool for the name, but like Rihanna, and here's the thing: if you tell me that Rihanna did better than Usher, I don't trust anything you got to say anymore. Um, but so yeah, that was dope. It's crazy because I thought the Prince Super Bowl, because I didn't, so I thought that was like before my time. I didn't realize that was like the '07 Super Bowl. But if y'all remember the '07 Super Bowl, that was the Bears versus the Colts. Now, great for the Colts because you know what I mean. I think that was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl win. So amazing for the Colts. Amazing for the Colts. But that was literally like the most boring Super Bowl like ever. You know what I mean? Like that was like I remember in '07 I was in the streets a little bit. Like I was outside a little bit. I know. It don't fit. I don't fit the mold of that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But Bruh was outside back in the day. I remember seeing that. I remember that being on in the background when we was in the trap house, bro. Like we was not like we had there was a Super Bowl party, but we was not worried about the Super Bowl because it was like it was two boring teams. So like we didn't even like the halftime show didn't matter. Now, old heads they say like, oh no, that was a great one because Prince is a great performer. He had Moore's Day and his little band come out. They said it was raining, so it's symbolic. It looks great, right? So that I guess that goes up there for some people. Now, for me, I don't remember it, so maybe I'll go back and watch it. But then Beyonce is that other one. Like so, like them for me, my top three, no particular order. For me, my top three, no particular order is Beyonce, Usher, and then the Dre and Snoop joint. So I don't know, man. The question is like, yo, when you have these great Super Bowl performances and then you have these great performers back and forth, like, because Bruno Mars probably did really good for some people. Like, that's not my thing, whatever. The weekend, I don't think the weekend did that great. I don't think he did an amazing job or anything like that. But um, it's hard to think because you got to think of somebody that's big enough, that's universal enough. And then now we got to think about like, oh, are they gonna want to change the genre of the music, right? So Usher was the perfect fit. Like Chris Brown is a great. He would put on a great Super Bowl halftime show. It's just Chris Brown has. That's the thing, man. Chris Brown just and there was something about the All Star game too. He has not done enough to put his. Even though a lot of people say want to put that stuff behind him and say, "Oh, he was a kid," which I feel that. Like I understand that sentiment, right? We can't keep punishing somebody for some stuff they did long, 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 long time ago, right? I get it. But if we're being honest, what has Chris Brown done to ingratiate himself with the fans, with women, with domestic violence survivors. Like, what has he done to ingratiate himself? And then, to be honest, he's only racked up more incidents and transgressions and you know just obstacles. He's keeps doing these type of things. He's done these type of things more than once. Now, that obviously Rihanna is big because she was a superstar as well. But like, he has other cases. Yeah, I mean, over time. So it wasn't like, oh, because he was only like 18, right? It's not that he was just because he was 18. It's because he didn't learn from the behavior and he kept doing it, right? But Chris Brown is definitely a shoe in type of pick. T Pain say he wants to do it. I think T Pain might have enough hits. Like he'll be able to kind of draw some of these out a little bit, but I don't know if he has enough appropriate hits. Now, as a songwriter, if you had stuff as a songwriter, then that might be dope. I don't know. I don't know who the pop stars are now. Like, what I mean? Dua Lipa, I don't think she's big enough. I think she's still too new. You know what? In a couple years, I could see a Jack Harlow getting something like, what I mean? If Jack stays on the same trajectory, I could see him being on it. Drake obviously needs, like, I think Drake deserves it. Like, what I mean? But are we gonna get it next year? It's in New Orleans. Do we get Lil Wayne? But again, I'm always afraid that they're gonna try to change the demographics. So like, I don't know. Outside of hip hop and R&B, I don't know who would get a shot. But if we are hip hop and R&B, Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne needs one. Chris Brown needs one. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I think we could do. I mean, I think Hove could hold it down, but that might be a little bit too much hip hop. J. Cole, I think J. Cole could hold it down. That might be too much hip hop. Yeah, it depends. It depends on which direction we want to go. Like Eminem was on the one with Snoop and all them. So like, I mean, can't use Eminem now. So it's remain to be seen. But what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about the Super Bowl halftime show? Who do you want to see perform next? I mean, I had to get my shit off. I had to get my piece out about that. We was gonna talk about Club Shay Shay a little bit. And I don't know. I think we're kind of past that point. Like, I don't think we need to talk about that right now. I mean, we could just dive into it a little bit. Like, I guess it's a bigger topic, but things have died down. So like, Shannon Sharp, he has Club Shay Shay, and he's been starting. It seems like he's starting all these comedy beefs. Like, all these comedians are going on there to share their grievances, and they're airing each other out, and they're saying some things. I just think it's kind of ironic that it doesn't seem like that should be the platform for that. But like, I think and for Shannon Sharp, it's dope because he's growing his platform and he's becoming a bigger star than he could probably ever imagine in the media world. Like, but um I just thought some of the criticisms against him are like, they're making claims saying he gay, saying that, and even like Mike. The thing is, him and Mike Epps start to go at it. And Mike Epps, like, he talks about him during like a comedy show, and he was like, Club Shay Shay, you mean Club Gay Gay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's going. I felt like Mike Epps kind of went a little bit far. Now, Cameron and Mace, they kind of talk about it. It was like, oh, they beef for a day. Well, it kind of was longer than a day because you got to take Mike Epps' clip into consideration. Like, when he was at his comedy show, when he's making fun of him and calling him all type of, like, gay dudes and stuff like that. Now, more power to Shannon, man, to be able to kind of piece it up and kind of, I don't know, I guess come to some type of agreement or conclusion. But I don't know, man. I think he let Mike Epps off the hook, man. And he said to Chad Ochocinco, he said that he promised his sister that he wouldn't beef with nobody no more, that he would. And Ocho was like, no, you can't have that mentality, like, because then people would think that they could say whatever about you and get away with it, which I understand that sentiment. But like, I also understand Shannon's sentiment too, because if he wants to be taken seriously as, a content creator, a media personality, you had to have thick skin, and it's tough, man. But what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about Shannon Sharp and his platform, Club Shay Shay? Do you think that that is the place that is the place where people need to go to be heard about comedy and the latest. Do you like the juiciness of it? Is there any guests that you would like to see on his show coming up? I don't know. Whatever you think, leave a comment below. We're wrapping this up. Again, this is episode 139. I appreciate everybody who's out to watch even a minute of this. If you're watching the reels, if you're watching the shorts on YouTube, I appreciate everybody, man. Yo, this year, man, we do got some things brewing up, man. Me and Levi, man, we've been doing some things behind the scenes and trying to just figure out ways to improve the content, improve the look of both of our shows. Real quick, Love is Blind, new season, season six. Is this season 5 or season 6? It's out right now. It's funny because I got that itch, right? So I seen it. I was like, oh, I should be talk about it, but no. So if I probably will react to some Love is Blind, but you will not get a full season recap from me and Levi this season. You will not get a full Love is Blind season recap from us, even though I am kind of getting the itch. The last season turned us off so bad. Like it was bad, but like this one is starting out juicy. We got a single there's a single mom on Love is Blind. Now, I don't know if y'all watch the show. I don't know if y'all watch the show, but that's unprecedented. There's never been, like, at least publicly, at least that they shared on the show. And we have to think about when the show aired, right? We've never seen a parent on Love is Blind. Now, I kind of think like, damn, like, I said that to somebody and they was like, really? And I was like, yo, they don't they don't be letting parents on there. Like, they don't be letting single parents on there. And I can understand why, right? There's a couple reasons. There's a couple reasons, but one is the fact that, like, all right, man, you already putting a barrier between two people, right? You're already putting a barrier between two people, and I can't see what they look like. But if you do that and then they're a parent as well, like, that's just another barrier, because I think a lot of people are coming into this like, I don't know, like, one, first off, the shorty don't need to be like, I don't get it. I don't. This is the part I don't understand. This woman, the woman that they got on there, that's the mom. She's beautiful. Like, so I don't know why she needs to be. Love is Blind. The way it started, it was for ugly people. And I'm not saying all the people that have been on there have been ugly, but that's the idea. It's for people that don't have I feel like they don't have traditional good looks, and they are struggling with dating, right? Because it's like people don't like what they look like. But no, this woman is bad. Like, she's bad, and I'm thinking like, you don't even need to be on there. And even if, like, this woman, man, I don't know how old her kid is. I forget what she said, but she definitely can get a stepdad out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I see why they don't do it. I think sometimes when you talk about a single parent, if the co-parent could cause, I think there could be like unnecessary friction. Like, so I think there would have to be an extensive vetting process for any single parents that go into Love is Blind. I would think that the process to get on there is extensive, because you're gonna have to prove that, yo, once this airs or whatever, that your baby dad, your baby mom, whoever it is, like, they're gonna be cool with it. They're not gonna sabotage our recordings or show. They're not gonna make a mockery of it. They're not gonna expose some things, because I would assume that you got to keep them, your co-parents somewhat in the loop. But I think also too is the fact that, like, these people be taking off work for mad long to be on these shows. And I would imagine that it's probably, if you're a parent and you have to support a child at any age, it's probably hard to take off that much work, you know what I'm saying? And still do your thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do want to watch it. I do want to get into it, but I'm watching it with a different lens. I'm not watching it super critically like we were doing it. But the last season was so bad, and we only got two couples out of the whole thing. Really one, yeah, no, one marriage out of the whole thing. I mean, two couples actually walked down the aisle. So I don't know. It leaves a bitter taste in our mouth. I feel like they showed us too much though in this first little episode. I think they showed us too much, but we'll see where it goes, man. But what are y'all watching right now? Again, we talked about the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. We talked about Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime show. I didn't get to talk about why, like, I don't think the game is rigged, but because we talked about legacy, so I'll leave that alone. Talked about Love Is Blind, and we talked about this unethical educator, and just a funny clip about dating somebody with a large vocabulary. Man, what is that like for y'all? So, if y'all like anything that we talked about, please leave a comment. Hit the like button. If you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And hopefully, man, we got something for y'all. But yo, happy to be with y'all again tonight, man. This is episode 139 of the 20 Plus Podcast, y'all. I'm out. Peace.